a second, let me brag on my God. Hear the truth, yeah, he be showing off. Yeah, I promise he never took a loss. If I'ma tell it, I gotta.
Alrighty. What is up, radio listeners? What is up? It is none other than your girl, Liz Chazadek Manning. And I hope that you guys are ready to keep it locked and keep it tuned to none other than the Little People's Show. So after the song right here, we're going to go ahead and come back with our topic or for today. So go ahead and keep it tuned and keep it locked.
Spinning low key, and I know they rockin' with me when his hands on me. Oh, this is all I know. I know you're riding with me when the times get low. So I be on a mission till your plan I go. And I can tell you vibe with me. Oh, you protect me from every weapon and every lesson. There's a blessing and there's a reason why I'm rapping. Hold on, wait a second, let me brag on my God. Hear the truth, yeah, he be showing off. Yeah, I promise he never took a loss. If I'ma tell it, I gotta tell it all. Wait a second, let me brag on my God. Hear the truth, I ain't just telling y'all. You can count it, he never took a loss. And if I'ma tell it, I gotta tell it all. Hold on, wait a second, let me brag on my. Every time I think about your love. Finally got somebody I could trust. Why you keeping me, I really just don't know. As you can see, we got it going up. Yeah, because of you. And when I got you beside me, I can't lose. And all the hating, they talking, it ain't true. And I'ma tell the world, cause they gotta know. You protect me from every weapon and every lesson. There's a blessing and there's a reason why I'm rapping. Hold on, wait a second, let me brag on my God. Hear the truth, yeah, he be showing off. Yeah, I promise he never took a loss. If I'ma tell it, I gotta tell it all. Wait a second, let me brag on my God. Hear the truth, I ain't just telling y'all. You can count it, he never took a loss. And if I'ma tell it, I gotta tell it all. Hold on, wait a second, let me brag on my.
Alrighty, radio listeners. So this next, thing that I want to go ahead and say to you guys is going to be none other than I just want to go ahead and let everybody know that our topic for today is going to be self-image. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as beautiful? Do you see yourself as somebody who isn't the prettiest of them all? How do you see yourself? That is what we're going to be talking about here on the Little People Show today. So I have a couple scriptures for you guys. We're going to be coming from the book of Genesis. We're going to be coming from the book of Psalms. We're going to be coming from the book of Romans. I just want you guys to go ahead and just understand the topic of self-image with some real evidence from the Bible. So first thing first, I want to go ahead and talk about what does the Bible say concerning our existence. In order to understand and, feel a certain way about our image, we have to understand why we're even here in the first place. If we feel like we shouldn't be here, then obviously our image is going to be messed up. So the first scripture I want to go ahead and read for you guys is going to be coming from the book of Genesis. It is Genesis 1 verses 26 through 27. And it reads, "Then God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. So this right here, it straight away tells me, hey, we are a creation of God. We are made in his image. We have nothing to be ashamed of, because God is God. We should go ahead and be proud that, God went ahead and said, hey, I'm going to make these people, my sons and daughters, after my own image, not after anybody else's image, but after my own image. And, that should give us another reason to just be thankful that we're even here, living on earth today. So once again, we're talking about self-image here today. And I want you guys to remember that we will always, just be blessed that we are here. There's a lot of people that may not wake up in the morning and, wake up. There's a lot of people that don't make it through the night, but we made it through the night, and we have something to be thankful for. We have something to be thankful for. We have something that we have to go ahead and show that we're thankful for, because not everybody, as I said, not everybody wakes up in the morning, not everybody sees another day. So the fact that we see another day every single day, we should continue to be thankful towards God, because God is the one that places us every single morning on this earth. So I want you guys to remember that we are blessed. If there's one thing that I want you guys to take away from today, is that we are blessed. So here is I'm Blessed featuring T.I. with Charlie Wilson.
One more chance at life and music. I promise you, I'm gonna shout you out and I'm gonna testify, and we're gonna have a little church up in there. Waking up, thanking God. Every day is feeling just like Sunday. Wifey fly by my side. Green light, everything is going my way. Riding clean, living dreams. Just left the barber and I'm feeling like Midas. Heard him say, give him praise. What's in the water got you acting like this? Ain't a day go by that I don't try to thank the Lord up above. And if you wonder why I'm loving life, I'm close and I tell you what's up. Listen. Ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed, yes. Living every moment, no regrets. Smile up on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed, yes, I'm blessed, yes. Ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed, yes. Living every moment, no regrets. Smile up on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed, yes, I'm blessed, yes. Playing cards, laughing hard, barbecuing, waking up the whole block. Music loud, turning out. Little kids are breaking out the bus stop. Life is good, really good. And every moment, no, I can't forget. I gotta say, I won't change. You're the reason that I am like this. Ain't a day go by that I don't try to thank the Lord up above. And if you wonder why I'm loving life, come close and I tell you what's up. Ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed, yes. Living every moment, no regrets. Smile up on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed, yes, I'm blessed, yes. Ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed, yes. Living every moment, no regrets. Smile up on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed, yes, I'm blessed, yes, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Let me holler at Uncle Charlie.
Thank God for another day. While they were hating on me, he done found another way. I know it's trouble all around, trying to tear us all down, but I gotta thank God for every day above ground. Know the devil working day and night, but I look him in the eye, say you a damn lie. And I know I could've died at a 9 time. I'm still around because of his work, not because I'm like him. And I'm up on the doing time, got a message for you. Might be stressing now, but there's some blessing coming. And when it do through all the party and the nonsense, just take some time to thank God for what he done. When the partner you run with come with them negative comments, trying to get you to do something, you better not follow them dummies. I swear, I declare, so much power in prayer. You had no idea, God is always here. I'm blessed.
Yes, living every moment, no regrets. Smile on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed, yes. Living every moment, no regrets. Smile on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed.
Alrighty, radio listeners. As I said, I want you guys to remember that we are blessed. We are truly, truly blessed. We are truly blessed that we are able to make it another day. And, you know, that is something that we have to go ahead and remember. That is something that we have to go ahead and remember. So we have to remember that we are blessed every single day. So the next scripture verse I have coming up for you guys is going to be Psalms 139 verses 13 through 16. And it says, For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every single one of them. The days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them. So what is this right here telling me? Straight up, this is telling me that we were each formed by God. We're being made just as he wants us to be made, and we are fearfully and wonderfully made. That is what I can go ahead and just get straight off the bat from that scripture right there. We are wonderfully and fearfully made. That is something that we have to go ahead and remember, because sometimes we may care about what other people think about us, how we look. Some people may care, but me personally, I do not care. Anybody wants to tell me, hey, Liz, you're ugly, I'd be like, okay, God doesn't think I'm ugly. God made me in his image, which means that he thinks I'm perfect. So when we think about ourselves, we have to think, what thoughts come to mind? What thoughts come to mind? We have to consider our talents. We have to consider our abilities. We have to consider our personality, our intelligence level, our physical appearance, and our sense of humor. There are a lot of things. Most of us just think self-image is just how you look. No, self-image is, again, like your abilities, your talents, your personality, your intelligence level. It's everything. How do you see yourself? How do you see yourself in the smart department? How do you see yourself in the athletic department? How do you see yourself? And these are the type of things that should come to our mind. And another thing, once we're thinking about our self-image, the number one thing that should come to our mind is that we were fearfully and wonderfully made by God. We don't have to care about what people say. We don't have to care about what people have to say about our image. We don't have to care what anybody has to say about Liz Manning or yourself. So next thing I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about is, what does the Bible say about how God views us? What does the Bible say about how God views us? Does God view us as the ugly people that we think that we are? No, God views us as somebody that we are made in his image. So he thinks we are perfect. He thinks there is nothing that he would ever change about us. Nothing. So this scripture verse that I'm going to go ahead and read for you guys is going to be coming from the book of Romans. So it's going to be Romans 5 verses 6 through 8. And it reads, "For a while we were still weak, at the right time Christ died for the ungodly. For one will scarcely die for a righteous person, though perhaps for a good person one would dare even to die. But God shows his love for us in that, while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." That is something very important that we should always, have in the back of our head, or anywhere in our head. We have to go ahead and remember that, when we think about showing kindness, whether it be to ourselves or somebody else, we have to go ahead and think, hey, God died for us, and he didn't only just die for us, he died for sinners. He died for everybody. He died for the believers. He died for the sinners. He died for everybody. But the reason why I'm connecting this to our topic is because even though we sinned, he loved us and he redeemed us. We can't be separated from God's great love. We can never try to even separate ourselves from his love, because his love is so big and so strong that anything that we try to do will not separate us from the love of God. God is always going to be there for us. Anytime when we, like we're talking about today, when we feel bad about our self-image, when we don't feel like we are made and wonderfully made and fearfully made, perfectly made in God's eyes. Anytime we don't feel like that, you just go ahead to God and seek him, pray to him, and ask him to send you a sign. Hey, God, can you show me how fearfully and wonderfully you have made me? And God doesn't even have to show us, but he's going to show you a sign. And sometimes we may think, hey, God, you didn't answer me in one day. God is going to take his time, because we need to know, hey, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. We shouldn't even have to second guess our self-image, because God already told us we are fearfully and wonderfully made. That is what the Bible is telling us. So this next thing I want to go ahead and say to you guys is some warnings that, about how we shouldn't view ourselves. There are certain ways that we should not view ourselves, one being ugly, or two being thinking too highly of ourselves. God has made us fearfully and wonderfully made, but God didn't make us cocky. God didn't make us believe that we are better than anybody else. Hey, God made us to think that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, each and every one of his children, not just you, his child. So I'm going to go ahead and be reading from this scripture verse. It's going to be coming again from the book of Romans, and it's Romans 12, verse 3. It reads, "For by the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think with a sober judgment, each according to the measure of faith that God has assigned." You know, just like I just said, we shouldn't be thinking too highly of ourselves, because, you know, God fearfully and wonderfully made us, but he didn't just, he made all of us fearfully and wonderfully. He didn't just make one person fearfully and wonderfully made. So that is something that we have to keep in mind. You know, we can't think too highly of ourselves. We cannot think too highly of ourselves, because God is going to put that ego right back down, because God is saying, hey, you think you're more special than the rest of my children? Hey, you guys are all equally special. God always thinks that we are equally special, because, I mean, it's God, and he's telling us, hey, straight up, I have fearfully and wonderfully made all of my children. I died for each and every one of us. You know, I died for each and every one of my children, not just one of them. So if there's anybody who thinks they're better than the other, they are not. You know, God is saying that we are equal. We all equally have his love. We all equally have been perfectly, fearfully, and wonderfully made in his image. So this last scripture I want to go ahead and read to you guys as we come down to the end of the Little People Show is going to be coming from the book of Philippians 2, and it is verse 3. So it says, "Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves." This connects right with our last scripture. Do not think too highly of ourselves. We have to go ahead and put others before yourself. You know, put others before yourself, because, you know, this is something that I always try to do. You know, if people even, if there's somebody else crying and somebody says, "Hey, Liz, are you okay?" I'm like, hey, don't worry about me. You know, I'm fine. I may even be crying and bawling my eyes out, but I'm like, hey, I'm fine. Are you okay? You know, those are the type of people that God is saying that, hey, you know that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. You know that you are not above nor below any other one of my children. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep you in my prayers. I'm going to go ahead and just provide you with what you need. I'm going to go ahead and be the good father that I am always. So those two scripture verses just connected and told us that we should not think too highly about ourselves. Do not live life self-focused or consumed with prideful thoughts. If we go ahead and live through life like that, then, you know, we're not going to be very happy with the consequences that come with being, you know, self-centered or consumed with prideful thoughts. So today we talked about self-image here on the Little People Show. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this topic as much as I have. You guys can catch me every single Saturday from the time of 10:30 to 11. So go ahead and keep it tuned and keep it locked. This has been your girl, Liz Chazadek Manning, with the Little People Show. I'm going to go ahead and close you guys on out with a song right here. This is You Say by Lauren Daigle. And I want to go ahead and see you guys at church tomorrow. I want to go ahead and see you guys at Omega Church at 11030 Walls Road, Coral Springs, Florida, 33076. I want to go ahead and see you guys there. We have our service that happens every single Sunday from the hour of 11 a.m. down to the hour of 1 p.m. It happens every single Sunday. So I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Go ahead and have a blessed rest of your day. This one right here is You Say, and I thank you for listening to the Little People Show today.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure